My name is Anya, an ordinary high school student, as ordinary as they come. My grades were average, and I had a pleasant appearance. My life was supposed to be a straight line until one fateful Monday morning, it abruptly veered into a dead end. The culprit behind all this was Ethan, my childhood friend and deskmate. Everything began during self-study hour. I was tearing my hair out over a spatial geometry problem, wishing I could just stab my compass through the scratch paper. Just then, Leo, our class president and a rather enthusiastic admirer of mine, walked up to me and said, "Still stuck, Anya?" He placed a strawberry yogurt carton on my desk, smiling warmly like a spring breeze in March. "Here, drink this, then keep thinking." I instinctively started to refuse, but a familiar and utterly annoying voice suddenly erupted in my head. "Strawberry yogurt again? Her stomach isn't good in the morning, cold things will hurt her." What an idiot. And where is his hand? It's almost touching my Anya, so irritating. This voice was Ethan's. I jumped, spinning my head to the side. Ethan was still slumped over his desk, his soft black hair covering his eyes, an aura of do not disturb radiating from him. He clearly looked sound asleep. An illusion? It had to be an illusion. I must be overthinking the math problem and losing my mind. I shook my head, pushing the yogurt carton back to Leo. "Thanks, but I can't drink cold things in the morning." Leo looked a little disappointed but still managed a smile. "Oh, I see, I'll remember that next time." "Is this guy deaf? I told him she can't drink it. Get lost, hurry up, stop lingering in front of Anya. Just looking at his face is annoying." There it was again, that voice, this time with clear impatience. My eyes widened as I stared at Ethan. He still hadn't moved a muscle. No, something was wrong. This wasn't right. Leo, flustered by my staring, scratched his head and took his yogurt away. Finally, the world returned to quiet. I took a deep breath, trying to calm myself. Could I have a superpower like reading minds? But why only Ethan's? To test it, I secretly nudged his elbow. Ethan, pretending to be asleep, frowned slightly but didn't lift his head. I strained my ears. What's wrong? Why did she nudge me? Is she stuck on a problem again? So silly. Why didn't she wake me up to explain? Or did someone bully her? Who? I'll teach them a lesson. A torrent of long thoughts, brimming with emotions from worry and indulgence to fierce protectiveness, flooded my mind. I froze, so it was real. I could really hear Ethan's inner voice. How could this person, who always wore a cold, unapproachable expression, have such a rich inner world? "Hey, Ethan," I whispered, trying. He slowly lifted his head, his beautiful, sleepy eyes narrowed, his voice raspy. "What is it?" She called me. Her voice is so sweet, my heart is pounding so fast, what do? I have to keep a straight face, can't let her find out. I pointed to the geometry problem. "Do you know how to do this one?" Ethan glanced at the problem, took my pen, and began drawing auxiliary lines on the scratch paper. "Look, this problem is so easy, and you still don't know how to do it. Truly my little silly piglet, but even silly is cute. Look at her listening intently to me explain, her eyelashes are so long, I want to kiss them so badly, no, must resist." Cough, I coughed, my face burning. What was that about, my little silly piglet? And wanting to kiss them? "Ethan, are you even normal?" He explained the problem very quickly, with clear logic, and in just a few sentences, he clarified the issue that had been racking my brain. "Understand?" he asked, his expression still completely cold. "Understand, Anya. If you don't, I'll explain it again. I can explain it for an entire lifetime." I nodded frantically like a pecking hen. "Yes, I understand, thank you." After saying that, I immediately turned my face away, not daring to look at him anymore. My heart was thumping wildly in my chest. So, beneath that distant exterior, Ethan thought of me like that. All the care and concern he'd shown me since childhood, which I'd always taken for granted as simple friendship, could it be something more? Just then, Chloe, the class beauty queen, walked over to our desk with a book. She smiled sweetly, her voice simpering. "Ethan, I don't quite understand this chemistry problem. Could you help me explain it?" "No." Ethan didn't even lift his head, spitting out a single word, cold as ice. Chloe stiffened, the smile fading from her lips. In my head, Ethan's inner voice resonated again. No patience and no respect needed. Here comes trouble again. Her voice is nauseating. Doesn't she worry all that heavy makeup will fall onto her book? Stay away from me, don't let your cheap perfume scent cling to my Anya. I almost burst out laughing. This was the Ethan I knew, sharp-tongued and unapproachable. But what was that about, my Anya? Chloe's face alternated between green and white. She couldn't bear the embarrassment and returned to her seat. The class continued, passing in my own personal chaos. Every one of Ethan's actions came with a vivid internal commentary. When I secretly snacked during class, he would give me a cold glance. Snacking again. Snacks aren't good for her health, but she eats with such relish. Oh well, I'll buy her some fruit later. When I dozed off, he would gently adjust my posture so I could sleep more comfortably. She can't even sleep peacefully. She must have stayed up late reading novels again last night. Her head is about to fall onto the desk, so unbelievably silly. Wouldn't it be more comfortable to sleep on my shoulder? When class ended, I packed my books, getting ready to go home. Let's go. Ethan slung his bag over one shoulder and stood up. I have to walk her home today. Lately, there have been some thugs loitering near the school. I don't feel at ease. I must protect Anya well. I looked up at him. In the evening light, his tall, sturdy figure cast a long shadow, offering a strange sense of security. I had never paid attention to these things before, but now that I knew his secret thoughts, my heart suddenly skipped a beat. Ethan, what kind of person are you, really? Ethan and I walked together on the familiar path home. The setting sun stretched our shadows, occasionally merging them. Before, I'd never found anything special about this sight, but today, each time our shadows touched, my heart would tremble slightly. The atmosphere between us was a little awkward, or more precisely, only I felt awkward. Ethan maintained his usual cold expression, hands in his pockets, walking casually. Walk slower, so I can walk beside her a little longer. His inner voice resonated again. I unconsciously slowed my pace, trying to match his steps. She slowed down. Does she want to walk with me longer too? So happy no, must remain calm. Ethan, you are a cold man. My lips couldn't help but curve into a smile. So this person had such a fierce internal struggle. Lost in thought, we turned into a deserted narrow alley, a shortcut home. Unexpectedly, 3 young men with dyed hair emerged from the dark corner, blocking our way. The leader whistled, his leering gaze sweeping over me. Such a pretty girl, where are you rushing off to? For a second, my entire body stiffened, my blood seemed to freeze. Ethan reacted incredibly fast. He immediately pulled me behind him, his tall figure completely shielding me. His voice deepened, terrifyingly cold. Get lost, the leader sneered. Big talk for a kid. Do you know who we are? As the situation became tense, Ethan's inner voice screamed in my head, completely contradicting his calm exterior. Damn it, it's those scumbags who dared to scare my Anya last time. Her hands are shaking, she must be terrified. What do I do? I'm not afraid of a fight, but what if Anya gets hurt? No, absolutely not, I cannot let her get hurt, I must find a way. My panicking heart miraculously calmed down, so he was worried too. I have to scare them away. Right, my cousin is a detective, I need to use that. Outwardly, Ethan subtly smirked, his gaze sharp as a blade as it swept over the 3 hoodlums. I don't care who you are, but my cousin is the captain of the criminal investigation unit in this area. Do you want to go to the police station for a cup of tea and leave your fingerprints as a souvenir? As he spoke, he pulled out his phone and dialed a familiar number. Cousin, I'm in Alley X. Some friends here want to socialize a bit. The 3 men's faces changed color. They exchanged hesitant glances. Ethan still maintained a nonchalant expression, but I clearly heard his anxious inner voice. Big bluff, hope cousin isn't busy in a meeting. You idiots believe me, hurry up and get out of here. Anya is still scared. Fortunately, Ethan's act worked. The leader glared at us, gritting his teeth. Consider yourselves lucky today. With that, all 3 quickly left. The small alley returned to its usual quiet. Ethan put away his phone, then turned to look at me. Are you okay? I was scared to death, my heart almost stopped just now. I need to check if Anya is all right. Her face is so pale, poor thing. I shook my head, trying to force a smile. I'm fine, thank you. He hummed in response, said nothing more, and continued walking forward. I trotted behind him, watching his steady back, a complex emotion rising within me. He was clearly very scared, yet he tried to act strong to protect me. Ethan, I called. He stopped. Weren't you scared just now? I asked. He was silent for a few seconds before turning his head, his dark eyes looking directly into mine. With you here, I'm not allowed to be scared. Lying without blinking an eye, my legs are actually still trembling a bit, but in front of Anya, I must be the strongest. I should learn martial arts later, can't let this happen again. I burst out laughing, my clear laughter echoing in the deserted alley. Ethan stared at me, dumbfounded. She's laughing. She's so beautiful, it's like the whole world lit up. Am I foolishly in love? My smile stiffened, my face flushed. I quickly lowered my head and hurried forward. Let's go home. When I arrived home, I said goodbye to him, then ran straight into my room and slammed the door shut. I leaned against the door, my heart still pounding wildly. Today, I had seen a completely different Ethan. An Ethan with a rich inner world, an Ethan worried about me, protecting me, an Ethan who liked me. As I was thinking, my mother knocked on the door. Anya, come out and eat some fruit. Ethan just brought it over for you. I opened the door and saw a plate of apples, already peeled and cut into small, bite-sized pieces. A wave of warmth filled my heart. He even remembered my eating habits. I picked up a piece of apple, and suddenly a familiar voice from next door pierced through the wall and into my head. I wonder if Anya is still scared? Apples can help calm the mind. Tomorrow, I must wake up early to make her breakfast. Minced pork and salted egg congee. She loves that the most. I was stunned. Ethan, how long have you liked me? Lost in thought, I tossed and turned all night, unable to sleep. As a result, the next morning I woke up with dark circles under my eyes as big as a panda's. While I was still groggily preparing a quick breakfast, the doorbell rang. My mother opened the door, and Ethan's familiar voice echoed. Good morning, Auntie. I brought some congee for Anya. I jumped and rushed to the living room. Ethan stood at the door, holding a thermal container, still in his neat school uniform. He looked a little self-conscious, his earlobes flushed red. My mom cooked a bit too much this morning, so I wanted to share some with Anya. He handed the thermal container to my mother, his eyes subtly glancing at me. Lying without a hint of shame, I clearly woke up at 5 a.m. to cook this. I wonder if it suits her taste. Look at her dark circles. She must have been scared senseless and couldn't sleep last night. It's all my fault for being useless. My heart gave a little pang. Why was this silly boy blaming himself? My mother happily accepted the congee, praising Ethan for being well-behaved and thoughtful. I stood beside her, my face burning, unsure what to say. Well, let's go to school then, I said hurriedly, grabbing my backpack. We walked together on the familiar path again. I held the warm congee container in my hands, feeling the warmth spread deep into my heart. Congee, thank you, I mumbled. He replied simply. No need to thank me as long as she likes it. What should I make for her next time? Chicken and mushroom soup or steamed buns with custard filling? I couldn't help but laugh. Did this person's mind only ever think about my eating? In class, I opened the thermal container. The fragrant aroma of salted egg and minced pork congee immediately filled the air. The congee was perfectly cooked, the minced pork tender, the salted egg rich. This was exactly my favorite flavor. I ate with relish, occasionally sneaking a glance at Ethan. He was wearing headphones, doing his homework, his expression focused and cold. But I knew that he was actually using all his concentration to listen to my every move. She's eating. She seems to really enjoy it. Good. Next time I need to add more meat. I need to fat my Anya up a bit. I almost spat out all the congee in my mouth. Fat me up? Do you think I'm a pig? Ethan immediately took off his headphones and turned to look at me, his face filled with worry. What's wrong? Did you choke? Oh no, she choked. What do? Water. Right, water. He fumbled in his bag for a bottle of mineral water, twisted open the cap, and handed it to me. I quickly took it, drinking a gulp to hide my embarrassment. I'm fine. During lunch break, Chloe appeared once again. This time, she wasn't alone but with a few girlfriends holding a beautifully wrapped gift box. Ethan, she called, her voice still sweet but with an added hint of confidence. It's my birthday this weekend and I'm hosting a small party. Would you be able to come? The entire class immediately turned their gaze towards us. This was clearly a public confession. Ethan frowned, his face clearly showing annoyance. It's her again, why won't she just disappear? What does her birthday have to do with me? I only want to attend Anya's birthday. While I was secretly gloating, one of Chloe's friends spoke up. Ethan, Chloe prepared this for a long time, you should show some respect. Everyone else in class is going. Was this collective pressure? Before Ethan could even open his mouth, an idea suddenly sparked in my mind. I turned to look at him, deliberately speaking loudly. Ethan, this weekend you said you'd tutor me in physics, didn't you? Did you forget? The whole class gasped again, their gazes at us full of hidden meaning. Ethan stared at me, astonished. Tutoring? When did I ever say that? Ah, I get it now. Anya is helping me out. Is she jealous? Is she? She must be. I'm so incredibly happy my Anya is jealous because of me. His inner world was like a boiling oil cauldron, cheering and dancing. I almost couldn't maintain my calm expression. Me? No. Well, maybe a little. Outwardly, Ethan immediately played along perfectly. He turned to look at Chloe, his voice cold but with an added hint of determination. I'm busy that day. After saying that, he turned back to look at me, his eyes filled with a world of tenderness. Sorry, I almost forgot. Your matters are more important. My acting skills are top-notch. Anya, do you see? In my heart, you are the most important. Everyone else is just fleeting clouds. Chloe was so furious her face turned beet red, gnashing her teeth but unable to do anything. She and her friends had to leave in a huff. After the green tea left, Ethan turned back, leaning close to my ear and whispering, "Thank you." His warm breath on my ear sent shivers down my spine. Too close. Her scent is so sweet. Her skin is so fair, I want to bite it, no, must resist. "Ethan, you are a rational man." I hurriedly pushed him away, stammering, No problem, we're just friends." "Friends?" He raised an eyebrow, his voice a little displeased. And in my head, a roar erupted. "Who wants to be friends with you? I want to be your boyfriend." My whole body stiffened, my brain stopped working, only the frantic pounding of my heart echoed in my chest. I stammered, unable to form a complete sentence. We. Just then, the bell signaling the end of lunch break rang, like a savior in my life. I quickly turned around, pretending to focus on my books, not daring to look at Ethan for another second. Outwardly, Ethan merely gave a soft, HMPH and returned to his desk. But I knew his inner world was churning. Did I scare her? Was I too aggressive? But I really don't want to just be friends. "Anya, you're so silly it breaks my heart." That entire afternoon, the atmosphere between us was incredibly strange. I didn't dare to start a conversation, and he was silent too. But I could feel his burning gaze occasionally resting on me. Each time, his inner voice would resonate, sometimes warm, sometimes resigned. "A strand of her hair is sticking up. I want to smooth it down for her so badly. She's biting the end of her pen again. When will she ever break this bad habit? Should I buy her bubble tea after school? Taro flavor, less sugar with white pearls, she likes that the most." I was tortured by his thoughts until school ended. As I was packing my books, Ethan suddenly spoke. "This weekend, what time?" His voice was as cold as ever. I blinked. What time?" He frowned, showing impatience. "Tutoring. You said it in front of the whole class." This idiot, did she really forget? This is a great opportunity for us to be alone together. I have to remind her. I suddenly remembered my lie from lunchtime. My face flushed. "Oh, that, 9 a.m. at my house?" Ethan shook his head. "Come to my house instead. My house has more reference books and it's quieter. Only at my house can I legitimately be in the same room as her. I need to create a space just for the two of us." What was I supposed to say? His reason was too logical, I couldn't refuse. Okay then. On Saturday, I went to Ethan's house as planned. Aunt Zhang, his mother, greeted me joyfully as soon as she saw me, pulling me inside, her demeanor as warm as if I were her future daughter-in-law. "Anya, you're here. That Ethan of mine, he's been pacing back and forth all morning, waiting for you." Ethan came down from upstairs, his face as dark as a pot bottom. "Mom, what nonsense are you talking about? My cool, aloof image is completely ruined." But what Mom said is also true. I bowed my head, trying to suppress a laugh, scolding his mother outwardly, but inwardly his thoughts betrayed him. We went into Ethan's room. It was my first time entering his private space. The room was very neat and clean, with a predominant color scheme of gray and white, perfectly matching his style. The bookshelves were packed with reference books and specialized texts, and there was even a limited edition Gundam model. "Sit down," he said, pointing to the large study desk. "What do you want to drink?" "Just plain water is fine." He went out to get the water. I sat down in the chair, looking around the room. Suddenly, my gaze stopped at a small photo frame neatly placed on his bedside table. In the photo, it was him and me when we were little, both wearing matching outfits. I was grinning widely, while he had a stern expression, yet his earlobes were flushed red. My heart skipped a beat again. He still kept this photo. Ethan returned, placing the glass of water on the desk. He saw me looking at the photo, and his earlobes began to redden again. "Oh no, I forgot to put the photo away. She saw it. What will she think? Will she think I'm a creep, or will she be happy?" To hide his embarrassment, he cleared his throat, opened his physics textbook, and said, "Let's start studying. Which part don't you understand?" The lesson began. Ethan was truly a dedicated tutor. He explained everything very thoroughly and patiently, but his inner voice was completely undedicated. "She's wearing a light blue dress today, so beautiful. Her shampoo smells so good, it's the jasmine scent I like." "Ethan," I called, seeing him suddenly silent. He startled, immediately returning to a serious state. Oh, you must remember Ohm's law. I almost lost control." "Anya, are you a fairy? Just sitting still makes it impossible for me to concentrate." "Look at her pink lips, what do they taste like? Probably very sweet." Clatter. I was so tense that I dropped my pen on the floor. I quickly bent down to pick it up, my face burning. "Ethan, can you please stop thinking such inappropriate things? Just then, my phone vibrated. It was a message from my best friend. Anya, hurry and check the school forum. Someone posted something bad about you. My body stiffened, and I quickly opened the school forum. A post titled, "Exposing a Shameless Homewrecker Who Used Tricks to Force the School Idol to Reject the Beauty Queen," was trending at #1. The article didn't mention names, but it included a secretly taken photo of Ethan and me walking home together, the angle extremely ambiguous. The content of the article melodramatically claimed that Chloe, the beauty queen, had meticulously prepared a birthday party to confess her feelings to the school idol Ethan, but was disrupted by the school idol's best friend, who feigned weakness, forcing him to tutor her. Below were hundreds of comments, cursing me as a true green tea asterisk. She looks pretty, but her heart is as venomous as a snake. Poor Chloe. My hands trembled, my face turning pale. Ethan saw my distressed expression and leaned in close. "What's wrong?" When he saw the content on my phone, his face immediately turned cold, his entire being radiating killing intent. And in my head, a deep voice filled with raging anger roared. "Chloe, good for you, daring to bully my person. You're tired of living, aren't you?" The murderous aura emanating from Ethan made the temperature in the room feel like it dropped several degrees. While I was still reeling in confusion and hurt, he took my phone. His expression was icy, his long, slender fingers rapidly scrolling across the screen, reading all the malicious comments. "Give me your laptop." His voice was hoarse, allowing no refusal. Ethan sat down, opened the laptop, and connected my phone. His typing speed was so fast I only saw a blur. I stood beside him, holding my breath, watching. "Find the IP address of the poster." "Chloe, I know you dared to use a dummy account to post this. Do you think I wouldn't find you? And all those who joined in the cursing, I will record everything. Daring to bully my Anya, I will make you all pay." His inner world was now filled with cold fury, like a leopard preparing to pounce on its prey. This anger wasn't for himself, but for me. My trembling heart was suddenly enveloped by a surge of warmth. In less than 5 minutes, Ethan stopped. He pulled a USB drive from a drawer, plugged it into the computer, and copied something. "Done," he said, his tone back to calm. "Done already?" I was surprised. "That fast?" Ethan didn't explain, just unplugged my phone and handed it back to me. "Don't look at this garbage anymore. I'll handle this. She must be very sad. How do I comfort her? Buy her delicious food or tell jokes? Damn it, I don't know how to tell jokes. I need to resolve this quickly so she doesn't have to worry anymore." He stood up and naturally ruffled my hair. His touch was very gentle. "Don't be scared, I'm here." A simple sentence made my eyes well up. I wasn't afraid of being misunderstood by others, nor was I afraid of groundless insults. I was only afraid that he would believe those words too. But no, not only did he not believe them, he stepped forward to protect me without a moment's hesitation. "Ethan," I choked out. "Good girl, sit here and wait a moment," he said, then picked up his phone and went out to the balcony. I sat on the chair, lost in thought, utterly flustered. About 10 minutes later, the school forum suddenly exploded again. The post slandering me had vanished without a trace, replaced by a new post pinned at the top. The red-hot title read, "The Truth Behind the Homewrecker Drama and an Apology from Chloe." The poster was Chloe's official account. The content of the article was a lengthy apology, admitting that out of jealousy and envy, she had concocted the whole thing herself, hired someone to take candid photos, and used a dummy account to post defamatory articles about me. Attached were screenshots of her conversations with the hired photographer, along with an audio recording of her own phone call. These were undeniable, solid proofs. The final part of the article was a sentence. "I apologize to Anya, and I also apologize to Ethan. From now on, I will not bother either of you again. I will submit a request to change classes." The comments below had exploded, the tide of public opinion turning 180 degrees. "Oh my God, so it was all fabricated? How scary. A beauty queen with such a twisted heart? Disgusting. Poor girl, getting cursed at for no reason. Ethan is so cool, didn't give her an inch of face." I stared at my phone screen in shock. Ethan did all this. Just then he walked in from the balcony, his expression nonchalant as if nothing had happened. "You." I pointed at my phone, he simply hummed. "She deserved it. Daring to mess with my person, just an apology and changing classes is still too lenient. If Anya didn't think I was too cruel, I would have made her transfer schools completely." I looked up at him. "How did you do it?" "Just a small trick," he said casually. "I hacked her account and sent all the evidence to her father. Her father is the head of the Department of Education." A small trick? This is a small trick. You're not just a genius student, you're also a hacking genius. I have to show a little capability so Anya knows I can protect her. This way, she'll rely on me even more later. Perfect plan. I saw the smug expression hidden behind his cold facade and couldn't help but chuckle. My earlier frustration had vanished into thin air. Thank you, Ethan. He looked at me, his eyes deep. No need to thank me. Then he took a step closer, shortening the distance between us. Anya, let me ask you one thing. Huh, do you trust me? Without waiting for my answer, his inner voice resonated first, filled with an unprecedented tension and expectation. Anya, please say you trust me. As long as you trust me, even if the whole world turns against you, I will fight the whole world for you. Ethan's earnest inner voice, laced with an almost insane stubbornness, echoed in my head. I looked up, meeting his deep black eyes directly. Those eyes were no longer cold, only tension and a faint glimmer of hope remained. I took a deep breath. I trust you, I said. My voice wasn't loud, but it was incredibly clear. I've always trusted you. The moment my words ended, Ethan's internal world seemed to explode with fireworks. She said she trusts me. She said she trusts me. Yay, I'm so happy. I want to hug her so badly. I want to pick her up and spin her around a few times. No, must resist. Ethan, you are a cold man. You must maintain your image. Outwardly, he only gave a slight nod, the corner of his lips curving into an almost imperceptible smile that one would miss if not looking closely. But I clearly saw his earlobes were so red they looked like they might bleed. The atmosphere in the room became magical. We just stood there looking at each other, only a step apart. I could smell the cool mint on him. My heart was beating faster and faster. Ahum, ahum. Just then Aunt Zhang entered, carrying a plate of fruit, breaking the ambiguous atmosphere. How's your studying going, kids? Are you tired? Have some watermelon. Ethan and I startled, simultaneously taking a step back like two children caught doing something naughty. Mom, why did you come in without knocking? Ethan frowned, his voice a little disgruntled. Mom, you came in at the perfect time. I was almost successful. Aunt Zhang placed the plate of fruit on the table, giving us a knowing glance. Why knock? Are you afraid I'd ruin your good thing? Mom, Ethan cried out helplessly. I buried my face, wishing for a hole to crawl into. Aunt Zhang smiled, taking my hand. Anya, don't mind him. He's been like a lost soul lately, probably smitten with some girl. You're close to him. Do you know who it is? Tell your auntie. Pfft. Ethan, who was drinking water, choked and coughed, his face turning red. Mom, are you my real mother? Why are you selling out your own son like this? It's all exposed now. Anya will definitely think I'm a pervert and hate me. I looked at his flustered state, feeling both amused and sorry for him. I feigned ignorance, shaking my head. I don't know, Auntie. He's very cold in class and doesn't talk to any girls. Really? Aunt Zhang looked suspicious. Really? I affirmed with certainty. Hearing me say that, Ethan's screaming inner world gradually calmed down. Good thing Anya isn't suspicious. She's still so silly, truly adorable, but I only talked to her anyway. After Aunt Zhang's questioning, the tutoring session naturally couldn't continue. I made an excuse that I had something to do and asked to leave early. Ethan didn't stop me, just quietly walked me home. On the way back, silence enveloped us again, but this time it was no longer awkward as before but held an unspoken sweetness. I suddenly wanted to tease him a little. Ethan, I began, I heard that a new female student is transferring to our class soon from a specialized school in the city. She's beautiful and smart. Aren't you curious? Ethan glanced at me, his tone devoid of emotion. No, but in his head, it was a completely different version. Another new person, how troublesome. Is she as beautiful as my Anya? Is she as smart as me? In short, I don't care. In my eyes, Anya is the most beautiful. She is number one. Everyone else is fleeting. I bowed my head, hiding the blossoming smile on my lips. A sweet feeling spread throughout my body. It turned out that being the sole person in someone's heart was such a happy feeling. I realized that I no longer saw him just as a friend. At my doorstep, I stopped. I'm going in. Thank you for today. He nodded, but didn't leave immediately, instead standing there watching me. Is there something else? I wondered. Ethan was silent for a few seconds, seemingly in an internal struggle. Finally, he looked directly into my eyes and said seriously, Anya, from now on, don't let anyone bully you. If anything happens, you must tell me first. His voice was deep and powerful, making it impossible not to trust him. And immediately after, his domineering inner voice resonated, almost making me lose my footing. Because you are mine, only I am allowed to bully you. I stood frozen like a statue, staring at him, my mind blank. Mine since when? Did I speak too directly? Look at her stunned face, she must be scared. But I don't want to lie to myself anymore. She will be mine, sooner or later. Seeing my lack of reaction, Ethan cleared his throat to hide his embarrassment, his earlobes reddening again. He took a step back, maintaining a safe distance. "Go inside, it's getting dark." With that, he turned and left, his steps slightly hurried as if he was fleeing. I stood in front of my house for a long time, my hand on my chest, where my heart was beating like a drum. The following Monday, a new female student indeed transferred. Our homeroom teacher led a beautiful girl into the classroom. "Hello everyone, my name is Serena, and I hope for your help in the future." Serena had long, jet black hair, large round eyes, and a sweet smile that revealed two charming dimples. As soon as she appeared, the entire class, especially the boys, buzzed with excitement. "So pretty. I heard she was the top student at the specialized high school in the city." I unconsciously glanced at Ethan. He was still slumped over his desk, sleeping, seemingly indifferent to the beauty's arrival. "So noisy, I can't even sleep peacefully. What's so amazing that they have to shout like that? She's not even as good as a single strand of Anya's hair." A strange sweetness inexplicably bloomed in my heart. The teacher assigned Serena to the desk directly in front of us. She turned around and smiled friendly at me. "Hello, you're Anya, right? I've heard about you." "Hello," I replied with a smile. Then she turned to look at the sleeping Ethan, her eyes lighting up. "And this must be Ethan, right? He's truly as special as the rumors say." Ethan then lazily lifted his head, gave Serena a fleeting glance, and slumped back down, showing no intention of starting a conversation. Annoying, another one. Why is she looking at me? Do I have glue on my face? Don't look at my Anya with that look. The atmosphere became a little awkward, and I could only give a forced laugh. Serena was indeed not a simple person. She was not only beautiful but also incredibly intelligent. During math class, the teacher presented an advanced problem. No one in class could solve it, not even me. Serena, however, raised her hand, went to the board, and solved the problem quickly, even offering two different solutions. The whole class applauded, and the teacher nodded in praise. I felt a bit of pressure. Compared to such a perfect person, I was truly too ordinary. I turned to look at Ethan, wanting to see his reaction. He just glanced at the board for a second, then went back to his own homework. Her second method has an unnecessary step. My method can be simplified by 3 more steps. Showing off to an expert, but Anya is looking at me. Does she feel inferior to others? No, I must be the best in her eyes. Immediately after, Ethan raised his hand and the class fell silent again. Everyone knew that the great Ethan only raised his hand when something truly important needed to be said. "Teacher, there's a fourth, more concise way to solve this problem." Saying this, he stood up, took a piece of chalk, and wrote on an empty corner of the blackboard. With just a few concise calculations, he presented the correct answer. This solution was incredibly intelligent and unique, even astonishing the teacher. Serena, who had been smiling smugly, immediately had her smile freeze on her lips. Ethan returned to his seat, his expression as cold as ever, but his inner voice was full of triumph. "See, Anya, your future husband is the best. No one else stands a chance." My face flushed. "Who's your future husband?" That afternoon, during self-study, I was doing my homework when Serena passed by, carrying a cup of water. Whether by accident or design, her hand slipped, and the entire cup of water spilled all over my exercise book. "Ah, I'm so sorry, I really didn't mean to." Serena quickly took out tissues to wipe it, her face full of remorse. My notebook was soaked, the ink blurred beyond saving. Before I could even say anything, Ethan, sitting next to me, shot up. He took my wet notebook, threw it directly into the trash can without a word. The whole class was stunned. Then he took his own exercise book and placed it on my desk. "Use mine," his voice was icy. "She definitely did it on purpose, daring to ruin Anya's notebook. Anya wrote so carefully, and now it's a messy pile. Does this clumsy hand need me to dislocate her joints? I dare her?" Ethan's inner voice was now filled with cruelty and violence. He was truly angry. Serena froze in fear, her face pale. "Ethan, I really didn't mean to." Ethan didn't even look at her, only turned to me, his voice softening a bit. "Copy it into my notebook." Then he turned to look directly into Serena's eyes. He said nothing, but his gaze, sharp as a knife, made people tremble. The whole world seemed to only hear his cold inner voice. "I'll let it slide this time, but if there's a next time, I won't let you off. Never touch my things." The air in the classroom became so thick it could be cut with a knife. Everyone held their breath, staring at the scene. Serena stood there, her eyes red, tears welling up, looking incredibly pitiful. She trembled, looking at Ethan, then at me, looking like a white rabbit bullied by a gray wolf. "Act, keep acting. Who are these crocodile tears trying to fool? Daring to upset my Anya, I haven't even settled scores with you yet. Ethan's inner voice showed no pity for her. Instead, it was filled with cold sarcasm. I took a deep breath, picked up Ethan's notebook. Thank you. Then I looked up directly at Serena and smiled calmly. Classmate Serena, next time remember to be a bit more careful when walking. You might not always be lucky enough to just spill water on an exercise book. My words were neither harsh nor soft, but they contained a clear warning. Serena's face immediately changed. She didn't expect me to be unfazed and even dare to confront her directly. Yes, well said, Anya. You have to be direct with this kind of green tea. How can Ethan's wife be someone easily bullied? So proud. I was speechless. The incident ended in the silence of the entire class. Serena didn't achieve her goal and had to swallow her pride and return to her seat. But I knew that with her personality, this wouldn't be the end of it. Indeed, just a few days later, a new rumor started spreading around the school. I heard Ethan publicly bullied a new student because of Anya. That Anya is no easy target either. She uses her childhood friend's status to control Ethan, not allowing him to interact with other girls. Poor Serena, beautiful and smart, but being suppressed as soon as she transferred. The public opinion once again shifted 180 degrees, turning Ethan and me into a domineering couple who bullied the weak. I just found it amusing. Serena's tactics truly weren't new, only knowing how to play the victim to gain others' sympathy. Ethan heard the rumor, his face chilling even further. Dirty tricks again. Does she think these baseless rumors can affect me? Naive. But I can't let Anya be slandered like this. I have to think of a way. That afternoon, during PE class, the teacher announced the upcoming inter-school basketball tournament. Our class, with Ethan as the ace, naturally became a strong contender for the championship. After explaining the rules, the teacher said that each class should now nominate a female student to be the team manager, responsible for logistics and drinks. The moment the teacher finished speaking, Serena immediately raised her hand, smiling gently. "Teacher, I'd like to volunteer." The whole class immediately applauded. What could be more fitting than a beautiful beauty queen managing the school idols team? Serena shot me a provocative glance, as if staking her claim. I shrugged, feigning indifference. But Ethan frowned, his cold voice ringing out, pouring cold water on the lively atmosphere. No need. The entire class fell silent. Serena froze. "Ethan, what do you mean?" "Exactly what it means," he said, not even bothering to look at her. "My team doesn't need a manager. We do, why wouldn't we? But my manager can only be one person, no one else has the right." Serena was blatantly rejected in front of so many people, her face flushing crimson. But this is a school rule? A few boys in class also spoke up in her defense. "That's right, Ethan, it's still better to have a manager. Serena is just trying to help everyone." Ethan gave a cold snort, not bothering to argue. He suddenly turned and walked straight towards me, who was standing in a corner of the court. All eyes were fixed on us. Ethan stopped in front of me, his tall figure obscuring the sunlight. He leaned down, his dark eyes looking directly into mine, his deep voice carrying an undeniable oppressiveness. "Anya, be my manager." My heart started pounding wildly. The entire basketball court fell silent, everyone frozen. Serena stood in the distance, her fingernails almost digging into her skin. In my head, Ethan's inner voice roared like thunder. "Anya, hurry up and agree. Tell everyone that you are the only one worthy to stand by my side. If you just nod, my team will be renamed Anya's team." I glanced into the distance. Serena's beautiful face was now pale and contorted with anger and disbelief. Her eyes looked at me as if she wanted to devour me alive. I took a deep breath, casting aside all hesitation. "Anya, you can't always hide behind others." I looked up directly into Ethan's eyes. "Okay." A simple word, but as firm as a nail hammered into wood. Boom. Ethan's internal world was like a nuclear bomb had just exploded. She agreed. Oh my God, did the whole world hear? Anya agreed to be my manager. So happy I want to run 10 laps around the stadium. Must resist, Ethan, you must be cold, cold. Outwardly, he merely curved his lips into an extremely faint smile. Good. Then he turned to face the entire class and the teacher, his voice ringing out clearly. "Teacher, our class already has a manager." The PE teacher was stunned for a moment, then nodded. All right, Anya will be the manager then. Now the team will start practicing." The entire basketball court seemed to wake up from a dream. Whispers and chatter erupted like a beehive. Serena couldn't bear this blow. Her face turned ashen, and she turned and ran away. My first duty as manager began. The practice match started. I clumsily ran to buy bottled water for the whole team. When I returned, Ethan was the center of attention on the court. Every pass, every shot he made was perfectly precise. His figure dominating the court, hair drenched in sweat, looked both masculine and deadly attractive. Anya is watching me. I must perform well. This three-pointer is for her. Swish! The ball arced perfectly through the air and dropped straight into the hoop. The whole team cheered. During the break, I ran over to him with a bottle of water and a towel. Here, drink some water. Ethan took the bottle, his fingers accidentally brushing mine. A tingling sensation spread throughout my body. I touched her hand. So soft, so cool. Should I just hold it? No, I'll scare her. But it felt so good. He tilted his head back, drinking half the bottle in one go, his Adam's apple moving rhythmically, captivatingly. Then he took the towel I was holding to wipe his sweat. This towel, he paused, I suddenly remembered. This was my own towel with a small Anya embroidered in the corner. It's her towel, it has her scent. Should I take it home, wash it, and secretly keep it? Definitely yes. I quickly snatched the towel back. Sorry, I gave you the wrong one. My face was crimson. Luckily, he couldn't hear my inner thoughts. If not, I'd want to disappear into the ground. The practice ended, and our class overwhelmingly defeated the other class. Ethan almost scored all the points for the team. On the way home, he walked beside me, not saying a word, but his happy mood was undeniable. Today is the best day ever. Anya became my manager. I got to touch her hand. I got to use her towel. So happy, I must go home and record it in my diary. So the cold idol also had a habit of writing a diary. At my doorstep, he suddenly stopped. Anya, he said, his eyes looking at me seriously, being my manager will be very tough. You'll have to come early and leave late, you'll have to endure sun and rain, you'll have to watch me sweat and worry when I get hurt. I shook my head. It's okay, I can handle it. He silently looked at me for a few seconds, then the corner of his lips subtly curved upwards. That's good then, because for all those hardships, I will spend my entire life making it up to you. On the day of the inter-school basketball final, the entire stadium was packed. Our class was facing Class 12A1, last year's champions. The atmosphere was so tense it felt like it could explode. In my role as manager, I rushed back and forth, preparing drinks, cold towels, and checking the first aid kit. Ethan and his teammates were warming up on the court. He looked incredibly focused, every movement exuding strength and determination. I must win today, absolutely. This is the first match with Anya as manager. I cannot lose, I have to show her how amazing her man is. My heart skipped a beat. My man, the game began. The two teams vied for every single point. Ethan was like a panther on the court, moving flexibly, stealing the ball, scoring points. Every time he shot the ball into the hoop, the entire stands erupted. I stood by the sideline, my heart suspended with every movement of the ball. The first half ended with a tie score. During the break, as I was preparing to hand out energy drinks to the team, Serena suddenly approached, her face filled with worry. Anya, it's not good. I just saw someone open our team's water bottles. I don't know if anything was put in them. I frowned. Another trick. Before I could say anything, a few team members had already heard, their faces paling. Really? What if someone put laxatives in them? The team's atmosphere immediately turned to panic. Serena quickly tried to explain, but her eyes glanced at me. I'm just worried about everyone. Anya, you're the manager. How could you be so careless? She was trying to shift all the blame onto me. I smiled, looking directly at her. Thank you for your concern, but I had already guessed that someone might not want our team to win, so I prepared 2 batches of water. I pointed to a carefully sealed cooler that I had hidden behind the bench. This is the real drinking water. As for the other cooler, I shrugged. It's probably only fit for mopping the floor. Serena's face immediately turned white. Ethan hadn't said a word from beginning to end. He walked over, opened a bottle from the tampered cooler, brought it to his nose, and then curled his lips into a cold smirk. He said nothing, just quietly handed the bottle to the PE teacher standing nearby. The teacher took a small sip, his face immediately scrunched up, and he spat out salt water. Who did this? All eyes turned to Serena. She trembled, stammering, unable to speak. Daring to play tricks on my Anya right in front of me, and even trying to harm the entire team? Serena, you're really something. Ethan's inner voice was so cold it made me shiver. I didn't need to step in after that. The teacher and school administration got involved, and Serena's ridiculous charade ended in humiliation. The second half began. After eliminating the threat, the entire team seemed to receive a dose of mental adrenaline, especially Ethan. He seemed to transform his anger into strength, playing like a god. In the final minutes of the game, the score was still neck and neck. With only 10 seconds left, our class was still down by 1 point. The ball was passed to Ethan. The entire stadium held its breath. He dribbled past 2 opponents, reached the 3-point line, and suddenly jumped. Time seemed to stand still. The orange ball left his hand, drawing a perfect arc through the air. Swish! The ball went into the hoop. At the same moment, the final whistle blew. We won. The whole class rushed onto the court, cheering and lifting Ethan into the air. Muang yu vei lei kao I, tung kao I len kong trung. I stood outside, smiling at him, unable to hide my pride. After the wild celebration, Ethan from the crowd, drenched in sweat, but his eyes sparkled like stars. He didn't go to his teammates, but walked straight towards me. The crowd automatically parted, creating a path for him. He stopped in front of me. The entire stadium suddenly fell silent. Say it, Ethan. You have to say it now, no more hesitation. He took a deep breath, his eyes looking at me, both gentle and domineering. Anya, my heart felt like it would leap out of my chest. I like you. His voice wasn't loud, but it echoed in my ears, in the ears of everyone present. Will you be my girlfriend? The entire stadium erupted with cheers and whistles. My face flushed, but my heart was as sweet as honey. I looked into his expectant eyes, the corners of my mouth involuntarily curving upward. Yes. The moment I nodded, he stepped forward, pulling me into a tight hug, oblivious to the thousands of eyes around us. His embrace was so warm, so firm. I pressed my face into his solid chest, listening to his strong heartbeat, and then a familiar inner voice, filled with joy and possessiveness, resonated in my ear. Finally, I got to hug her. So soft, so fragrant. From now on, she's mine. No one is allowed to bully her anymore. I have to plan to propose to her right after graduation, just to make sure no one steals her. My Anya is so sweet and lovely. Haha, I chuckled inwardly. Ethan, you really are the most adorable idiot in the world.